Sleepwalking by Christian Nobles. The main purpose of my speech is to inform my audience about sleepwalking. Information will be presented about what children do when they sleepwalk, what adults do when they sleepwalk, and the cause of sleepwalking. Getting dressed, cooking, eating, and driving a car all seem to be normal everyday functions, unless you do them while you are asleep. There are people who in their sleep perform routine and not so routine chores. Sleepwalkers walk with their eyes open, have blank looks on their faces, and are unresponsive to other people. Approximately 4 million Americans regularly walk in their sleep. You may walk in your sleep. You may know someone who walks in their sleep. You may someday know a sleepwalker. Children do many things when they sleepwalk. As a child, my father was a sleepwalker. He would scream and run out of his room as my auntie would run to check on him. He would jump into her arms. He would also stand up, motion, and yell for her to get down, as if some sort of object was coming toward her. Research shows that if you stand a sleeping child on his or her feet, he or she will walk. But my auntie tried this on her son, who was 11 years old, and he walked where she led him. She tried it on her daughter, who was 5 years old, and she would not walk. Adults, although much less often than children, also walk in their sleep. They have been known to do routine and not so routine chores. They get dressed, sometimes in strange ways, such as the very layered look or in their spouse's clothes. They cook, sometimes strange things, such as dog or cat food, and have known to even eat it. They get out of bed, wander around for a while, then go back to bed, sometimes in strange places, such as the bathtub. My dad has now grown out of nightly sleepwalking, but my aunt remembers him occasionally surprising me. While visiting them, he got up in the middle of the night and turned on the television. Occasionally he says he will wake up in a different place than he went to bed. While sleepwalking, children almost never harm themselves or someone else. However, adult sleepwalkers have one time or another become violent. Sleepwalkers have strolled out of windows, have had accidents trying to drive cars. They have set fires trying to cook. The worst reports of sleepwalk violence are of people who murder while sleepwalking. The cause of sleepwalking is by no means certain. However, explanations are made possible through many years of study and research. There is good evidence to indicate that sleepwalking is associated with other sleep disorders, particularly those of the deep sleep, night terrors, sleep talking, bedwetting. Sleepwalking is not a walking dream state. Dreams are associated with rapid eye movement sleep. Sleepwalking only occurs in delta, which is deep sleep. In a dream state, with the expectation of rapid eye movement, our muscle tension disappears completely, thus not allowing the body sufficient ability to move or walk. The causes of sleepwalking are different for children than adults. In children, the movement is relative to the development of the central nervous system. In adults, it is often linked with a variety of emotional disturbances such as stress. The presence of a fever can cause both children and adults to sleepwalk. In conclusion, many people sleepwalk. Adults and children sleepwalk. However, research shows that children sleepwalk more than adults and is usually outgrown by the age of 14. There are cases, however, that this disorder is carried into adulthood. As stated before, adults have been known to become violent while sleepwalking. There are different causes for sleepwalking. Development of the central nervous system and fever for children, emotional disturbances, and fever for adults. If you or someone you know is a sleepwalker, it is important to get all of the information you can so you can be prepared for any situation.